Welcome to the Press Box. I'm Ryan Thorburn, joined by Steve Mims. Steve, it's Groundhog's Day at Oregon. December 8th?
December 8th.
December 8th, 2017, and the Ducks are going to have a press conference to introduce another head coach on the anniversary that they introduced Willie Taggart. Now we have Mario Cristobal. The interim tag has been removed. Oregon has a new football coach. Just your thoughts on this whirlwind hire?
I think the press conference will have fewer sound bites. Not going to have quite as many slogans, I don't think, but it's interesting. It's not a total surprise to me that he's hired. I'm just a little surprised at the timing. I thought, being that he was on staff and had to stay on staff through the Vegas Bowl, I guess I expected Rob Mullens to maybe look around outside a little bit longer, and if he didn't find something he liked, he could come back to Cristobal next week, but apparently decided it was his guy and wanted to get it done before all the recruits come flying to town this weekend.
Well, you put a long list of candidates together, when Taggart left, of, who could possibly come in here and replace Taggart. And it's really was hard to scrounge up a lot of viable names. I mean, Chip Kelly was already at UCLA, Scott Frost was already at Nebraska, Dan Mullen already at Florida.
Yeah.
The timing could not be worse for a major coaching search. So I think in the short term, this makes a lot of sense, and I think it's really going to provide a lot of energy for the team. I think next year they'll pick up where they left off. Now we'll have to see, 2, 3, 4 years ago from now, can Cristobal really coach at the level of Chris Peterson and some of these guys? But for right now, it's a good move.
Yeah, assuming it keeps most of the players, you don't see a mass transfer coming. You lose a couple recruits, but it's probably still a top 15 recruiting class. I think, when everybody thought going into next year it was a 10-2 team, I think people probably still think that. I think this is still probably the team picked to finish second maybe in the Pac-12 North behind Washington, and picked as probably a preseason top 20 team. And like I say, everybody's going to project them at 10-2, and I think you keep on that path with this. You just avoid any sort of loss of players or some sort of changing the system around completely. It keeps you on a pretty normal path to what you thought you were heading anyway.
That's a big storyline for me, not just the timing of Cristobal getting elevated, but the player support he had was really unprecedented. Usually you see that, when a guy's the interim guy, the players, lobby a little bit. But, I mean, this was a petition. This was a Twitter movement. And I don't know what Rob Mullens is going to say about that, but I think it had to have some sort of impact on this.
Yeah, I just talked to some of the players, and they said in his introductory meeting, Cristobal thanked them and told them that, hey, a big part of this is the Cristobal in that you guys did, and you guys really put the pressure on the administration to at least look and look at it and to realize that was the guy they wanted. So he definitely realized that. He told the players in his first meeting that he thought that was a big part of it.
Clearly the other guy on staff with head coaching experience that probably deserved a look was Jim Leavitt. Now that it is Cristobal, do you see Leavitt still going to Florida State? And what other staff do you think will be retained to help Cristobal keep the momentum going?
I do. I think Leavitt was in a Leavitt or leave it. He wanted the head coaching job, yeah. And I think he's probably also got to be a little curious that this whole Cristobal in, it's sort of like everybody kind of went away and he was never even mentioned. So I think he's probably a little discouraged by that. He's made it clear he wants to be a head coach. I think he goes with Willie to Florida State. I think Dante Pimpleton and Raymond Woody go back with him to Florida State. I think Keith Hayward, Charles Clark stay. I think Joe Salve will stay. I think Marcus Arroyo stays. I think Marcus or Mario would have to convince him, hey, you're maybe the OC this time, and it comes with a little pay boost, this and that. That'd be good for Herbert to have his quarterbacks coach back, obviously. The question mark for me is Michael Johnson. He had a Michigan job offer last year that would be a full-time job now with the 10th assistant. Does he do that? Does he go with Willie? Does he stay here? Does some other people come with, knowing that his son's coming along pretty soon at quarterback? So that's kind of the wild card to me.
Well, there's a lot to play out here with the hires and 8 days away from the Las Vegas Bowl and then early signing coming up, so we'll keep you posted. Thanks for tuning in.